Welcome, loyal readers, to a new episode of the Ballad of Gatito Negro. In the last episode, Gato finds himself cornered by Vincent, who reluctantly accepts him into the family. Gato's newfound pride causes his chest to poke out just a few centimeters, but he's still not so intimidating. And now with his new pawn, he can begin to mastermind and build the Villani name into an organization he can be proud of. But this pivotal moment isn't over just yet. Luna has to brief Gato and tell him what happened last night that kept her from coming home. And Gato wasn't prepared for this uncomfortable truth about the woman he has grown to have so much affection for. Find out what happens next in this extended episode. On the other hand, your favorite teen tyrant, the angel-faced Jenny, licks her wounds after an eventful night at the roller disco. She's down and out, but just a small setback. And as she begins to make her move, it seems fate may be on her side. So without further delay, let's jump in. Gato just finished showering, and he put on his pajamas. He walks out the bathroom and walks right into the dining room with a slight knot in his stomach. He's hungry, but he knows he has to be patient to eat because Luna set a classy table tonight. She had wine and candles lit. Gato sits across the table from Vincent, who winks at him but says nothing. Luna walks out with the plates and places them gently in front of her two handsome fellows as she smiles. "Dig in, guys," Luna said proudly. "I made lasagna." "Thanks, sweet cheeks," says Vincent as he grabs his fork and knife. "Thanks, Luna," says Gato, a little annoyed at Vincent's pet name for Luna. "So, Gato, how was school? Did you make any friends?" asked Luna as she poured herself a glass of wine. "No," he said reluctantly. "But I did meet a girl. I think she was a high schooler." "Oh, the kid's a natural," says Vincent as he slaps the table and then shovels the lasagna in his mouth. "That's great, Gato," says Luna with a praying motion. "I'd hope you make friends at school. It seems like you're doing well already." "What happened last night, Luna?" Gato blurted, changing the direction of the conversation. Vincent immediately stopped shoveling his face full of food, and he composed himself to listen to what Luna had to say. Luna then tells them how Ramon had abducted her and conveniently left out what happened after they had reached the hotel. She laughed about it like it was another day at the grocery store, thought Gato. So he had to ask her, "How could you be so calm about this? We should find him. Make sure he doesn't come back for you, Luna. He knows where you live," says Gato, concerned. "I'd hate to admit it, but the kid's right, Luna. What if this guy tries again?" says Vincent as he slowly sipped his red wine. "Earlier you said it happened again. So you blacked out?" asked Vincent with a concerned brow. "Yes," she said solemnly. "I woke up in his car, somewhere in New Jersey. I took the train back. I can barely remember any of it," she continued. "Gato," says Vincent, "Luna is bipolar and she has blackouts from time to time. I always help her with these messes she leaves behind." Vincent continued. Gato put his head down. He had no way to make this burden easier for Luna. All he knew is he wasn't ready to let go of her just yet. "I'll fix you, Luna. I promise," said Gato, naively determined to save his new friendship. Vincent laughed and says, "Be a doctor, kid, and you can fix all of us." End of chapter 1. Chapter 2. As Jenny wakes up, she's greeted by her father, Al. He's wearing his best suit and is carrying a bouquet of lotus flowers. Jenny assumed he was going on a date, but she was too preoccupied to think too deep on what her father was up to, so she dismissed it. Then Jenny got ready for school and decided to wear her lucky barrettes today. She was still in a bit of a bad mood after last night. She was feeling a little lucky for some reason. Maybe it was Romeo, her black panda, giving her a little luck. After getting dressed, Jenny left for school. School was pretty normal today, and she felt like this day would pass by without ever seeing Harold. But to her surprise, something amazing happened. As Jenny was going to meet up with her two besties in the cafeteria for lunch, that girl Caitlin grabs her and pulls her to the side of the courtyard and tells her, "Thank you for yesterday, Jenny. I honestly don't know what would have happened if you weren't there to save me. You're like my hero, really," says Caitlin graciously. "It's no problem, really," says Jenny in a hurry. "Guess you owe me one." And as she's trying to leave, Caitlin grabs her again and says, "Listen, I'll pay you back right now. I want Harold to get what's coming to him," she continued almost in a whisper. "My dad told me his dad has a mistress in Jersey City. Maybe if you can catch him in the act, we can get his dad fired. Then he can't threaten me anymore," said Caitlin while twisting her long hair into small curls. Jackpot, thought Jenny. It was time to begin her revenge on that foul-mouthed jerk, and she was way too up to the task. She got Caitlin's number, then headed back to lunch. Then later on that evening, after she had arrived home, she ran to her room closet and grabbed one of her presents from her birthday party and carried it downstairs and all the way to the west wing of the house. She then knocks on the door and waits patiently. The door slowly opens, and a man with glasses and bandages on his left hand answers. "Hey, Jenny," says the man sheepishly. "What brings you around here? Do you need something?" As he speaks slowly through the small crack in the door. "Jerry, I want to make a deal," says Jenny with a serious face. "How about it?" "What do you have that I could ever want to need, Jenny?" says Jerry rhetorically as he tries to close the door. Jenny sticks her foot out to prop the door and says, "I'll get you a better job as my driver and get Dad to stop hurting you," says Jenny. Jerry goes quiet and then walks back to his room and sits at his desk and says, "Jenny, all right, you win." "What's the deal?" he asks curiously. "I need you to take this camera and follow Harold's dad when he meets up with his mistress and take some photos for me. I have a school project I'm working on," she says with a sheepish smirk. "Project, huh?" says Jerry, suspicious of her real intentions. "Honestly, I don't really care what you're doing. Just get me away from Dad and I'm your guy," he says as he gets back to his video game. Jenny then leaves the room smiling because everything is going to plan. Next, she has to call Caitlin, get some more information about Harold's dad, Mr. Lehman. Once she's done with that, she's going to get Jerry off of errand duty. But that's the easy part. So she decided to call Caitlin. They chatted for about 15 minutes. She got all the info she needed. Apparently, Mr. Lehman takes a weekend off once a month for a supposed golfing trip to Jersey City. But the junior executive started a rumor that he's going to see his mistress after golf. She finally had an angle on Harold, and she was going to destroy that little boy, one feather at a time. End of chapter 2. Chapter 3. Big Al started off his morning with an early breakfast and coffee. He put on his best suit and answered the door. The flowers arrived right on time as expected. A bouquet of lotus flowers he had special ordered for this rare occasion. Today was the day he'd be paying a visit to Ramon, and he had butterflies. He just had to know what this man's motivations were and where the hell his money went. Big Al sat on the porch smoking a cigar, and then Lydia approaches over his left shoulder and says calmly, "Sir, the car is ready and the flowers have been wrapped and sent to the hospital anonymously," said Lydia with a childlike smile. "Great. Now let's put this plan in motion. Did you bribe the hospital staff like I asked?" asked Al with an inquisitive eyebrow raised. "Sir, your stage is set," said Lydia as she slowly retreated back into the house and vanished into the concession of maids and housekeepers. Al tossed a cigar and went to the car with a sinister take on a happy smile. The car leaves and heads to the hospital in New Jersey. That poor bastard Ramon is gonna wake up to a not so speedy recovery. End of episode 11.